Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in today for our special audio recording with Yushi and
Angelica.
Woo! I don't know what this is about. It's just maybe a new series. Who knows? We're trying to explore our avenues of what we can do, online stuff. And for the first episode, what I was thinking is our fellow member Angelica. She's had quite a journey ever since coming to Happy Science, right?
Absolutely.
Like you can write like 5 books. From the experience from this one year.
Yeah. It's way too long to share in just a couple of minutes.
Which means there's going to be future episodes. but she's right. It's gonna. We don't want to have you hanging with us for hours. We're just thinking of doing a short 5-10 minute clip today. Hopefully it'll end there. Focusing on what we call a spiritual checkup. It's like a one-on-one with the minister, maybe once a week or once every other week. We just do like a checkup spiritually, like how you doing, what kind of books you're reading, any hints or advice that you want in life. We've been doing that like one hour a week or so. And first question that I'd like to ask you before we get into the miracle that you experienced from this.
One of several.
Yeah, right. You're right. Future episodes for the other ones.
Yeah.
But why did you decide to do this spiritual checkup, and how has it benefited your life?
Well, I decided to do the spiritual checkup after I moved to Pennsylvania with my father. And so I had just found Happy Science, And a couple months, maybe like a month and a half after I found you guys, I was like, I'm going to go to Pennsylvania to live with my dad. And so I felt like I was being ripped apart from my family, like this.
From the Happy Science family.
From the Happy Science family, because the immediateness of the effects of encountering you guys, feeling happy again, it was so intense.
Wow.
And I felt like, oh my God, I'm losing what I've been looking for almost it felt like eternity.
Wow.
So you graciously offered to keep in touch and make sure everything was okay. And basically, without the ability to talk to someone, any member of my sangha, it scared me a lot. So I'm very appreciative that you reached out, and there was this genuine concern that you had, and I felt that. I guess you saw this earnest desire in me to really change my life.
Yes.
And it was like you did not want me to let go of that. I could have just said, no, I don't need you. But there is a benefit to having someone else listen and to guide you when you're seeking spiritual truth, because you can become misguided.
I guess it's good to have a Dharma friend to chat with, so you can reconfirm the inspirations that you're receiving, or the instincts that you're getting. Gotcha.
And there was this strength too, because again, you know the story. A lot of people don't know the story, but I'm going to put it this way. There was a situation that happened where I had to decide, basically, I had to escape. Let's just put it that way. I had to choose, what do I take with me? My first instinct was, I'm taking all of Master Okawa's books with me. I had just finished completing the 50-book challenge. And what I took with me were all of those books, plus just passports, few papers, anything that had my address or any sensitive information. And I headed out that door, and I was dragging it in the middle of the street. But I was like, heck no, I'm not leaving my Happy Science books behind. And you don't know until you're placed in a situation what's so valuable to you.
Wow.
And for me, looking back, I was thinking, I made this move in search of a family, in search of connecting with my father and having a family. And then now that I can look back on it, I'm like, you dopey. You're such a dopey, because what you were really saying to yourself was, I have a family. I found my family. My family is happy science. And I was like, I'm going to protect these books, these Kyotins. This is the truth. This is what made me happy. Like the effects of reading, the effects of being around happy science members. Did it matter that I left behind all of these other books and you know, material things? All that mattered was I needed to return back to my family.
Wow.
You know.
So in retrospect, that
absolutely,
was,
yeah.
Right, as Steve Jobs says, right? You can't connect the dots looking forward,
right.
but when you look back, it's connected. So I guess like it's that moment for us right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, we would like to continue this sort of like episodes of Yushi and Angelica in the future. But, you know, today is an introduction. I do want you to share with the listeners one of the few incredible miracles.
One of the many.
One of the many. Absolutely. Well, in just 1 year, right? In just 1 year, you have experienced so many miracles, whether it be regarding human relationship, work and wealth, and also even in health.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there are many to come, but today, the one that I really, I remember really strongly is that, you know, it wasn't really much of a spiritual checkup. It was like before our lecture viewing, right? And we're just having a little chat in the prayer hall. And then you asked me this question, and I just gave you like a short answer from one of Master's Kyotens. And then I just walked away, and I came back. All of a sudden, the more details will come from Angelica, but every time I saw her trying to like get up from a chair, you know, you were having such a hard time. It seemed like you had very severe lower back pain. That's how it looked from my side. But I never really asked because, you know, it's, you know, private stuff. I don't want to like, right. So I was like, you know, I was thinking, oh, I hope she feels better and all that. But you know, after that one little sentence, I saw you not just standing up, like jumping out of your seat, like doing squats and going up and down the stairs, like as if you're like, I don't know, like just very energetic, right? And that miracle was a huge breakthrough moment, I felt, for you in your spiritual journey here in Happy Science.
Yeah.
So could you kind of like give us the details of what happened that day?
Yeah, well, actually, I think you're referring to a different miracle because these happened like back to back.
Oh, right, okay.
Yours was the snake, and I was always cold.
Oh, right.
Yes, that was in the temple, and for some reason you turned around and you were like, "Are you always cold?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't get it." And you were like, "Well, I don't mean to scare you, but you might have a snake spirit wrapped around you." And just a few seconds afterwards, I stopped being cold. And it was because you explained to me it was probably because I was angry about something. And I won't get into detail regarding that, but that was like almost immediate that you saw. Right. Now, yes, I call it the old lady syndrome, where I was having a very difficult time. Just like every time I bent over, I couldn't stand up without grabbing something and pulling myself up with my arms. There was hardly any strength in my lower torso. Like,
was it because of some sort of pain, or
it was pain and in the lower back, but the numbness, like it was like
Jesus,
I couldn't feel my legs, like there was no strength. I'm a participant of the 50 lecture series,
right? Tuesdays from 6 o'clock.
Right. And so you shared that lecture, and then I think one of our members also gave a comment regarding this attachment to, or not attachment, but addiction to emotions, right? And I was getting dressed for work the next morning, and all of a sudden I made a self-discovery. I was reflecting, and I said, "Oh my gosh, you're addicted to self-pity." And as soon as I said that, I felt something like jump off of my shoulders. Wow. And then there was this internal, I'm not going to say I'm like hearing voices, but there was this knowledge or knowing, and it said, "Stand up." And I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to stand up. As soon as I did, the lower back issue was gone. I could bend, I could squat, I could jump. And then I think it was either that Sunday we were cleaning
cleaning
the temple.
Yeah.
And I'm smiling because I couldn't wait to tell you, like, hey, Yushi, surprise.
That's right.
And I don't remember how it came about, but I was like, Yushi, I have something to show you. And I just like bent down really easy and got up. And
it was the couch. It was on the couch. You like,
Yeah.
You're like, Yushi, I gotta have something to show you. And then like you just sat down on the couch, which is like pretty low. So it's really hard to stand up from that couch, even for me, right?
Yeah.
But then that's the moment I saw that miracle.
Yeah, and you knew it because you had been with me throughout the journey, and you noticed, and you said to me, I actually thought you look like a little old lady.
Did I say that? Oh,
yeah, you did.
So insensitive.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, but we have that respect where it's just funny, you know, there was no, I didn't take
it's
offense
a New York
to it.
humor.
Yeah. So you saw it, you recognized it instantly, and I knew you knew already. But for you to have been part of the journey and to do these spiritual checkups, you easily recognize, oh my gosh, this is a miracle, because I was struggling even when we would do the fight, the Alcantara.
Yeah, to stand up.
I had to stand up, and I was like, oh, I dread having to stand up because it takes me a long time to stand up.
Let's just put it this way. You look like an old woman.
Yeah, literally.
You need a cane to stand up. That's
literally.
how bad it was.
It was really bad. So ultimately, what I want to share with people is that, it's people expect miracles just to happen like that, but it took a lot of hard work. It took effort. It took faith. It took friendship. It took so much, and I'm not gonna say the reward for it, but like it was just a confirmation that everything that I was doing, it was working, and it was leading me to becoming a better person, and I needed this confirmation. Well, not that I needed it, but it was the Lord's way of saying, like, this I needed you to experience this pain for a very long time. Right. I needed you to just not understand, but feel it, and heart and soul, like, you know, efforts do pay off. And it's your responsibility now to share that with people. Absolutely. And not just keep it within.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole point of Happy Science and sharing wisdom and missionary work, you know, sharing love.
Absolutely.
So, again, one of many, and I cannot emphasize that enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be looking forward to our future episodes for all of other Angelica's miracles. But one thing I gotta say objectively is, like, that's like 2,000 years ago Jesus' time miracle. Like, people who couldn't stand stood up.
Yeah.
Like, and you heard that inner voice, right?
Yeah.
We call that inner inspiration in Happy Science, but it told you to stand up.
It was so strong too. It was like, stand up. Because as soon as I said that to myself, you are addicted to self-pity. And it's like, you know, you're wearing a heavy book bag and you take it off. That was the feeling.
Wow.
And then it was like, stand up. Because it was like, finally you get it. Finally. It took you how many years to understand this? But you put in the work, you put in the effort, you keep doing it. And so now, if I feel any kind of pain, I know to reflect, like, oh, okay, what do you feel sorry for now? Like, what do you know? So it's like a warning for myself, and it's a self-check thing, you know. But I haven't really experienced any lower back pain in such a long time since that happened. And that just means that I am doing the right, you know, I am following the fourfold path. I am trying really earnestly to continue my studies, continue self-reflecting, and then now it's just more of developing the courage, which we just
in the Sunday service.
we just listened to during our service, and just taking action,
Absolutely.
and then helping others. Again, for me, it's not about giving people the answer. It's about helping them, like guiding them towards that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what Master says. Master says his kyotens, his books, are all references of how to solve life's problems.
Right.
So in the end, we can't like put our hands in some person's mind and as if there's like a controller in there and control their way of thinking.
Right.
All we can do is guide them
Yeah.
in the right direction and also encouraging them. And I believe today's video will be a great source of encouragement for all of our fellow Happy Science members around the world. And if you're new to Happy Science, I hope it has intrigued an interest of what sort of studies and faith we have here. To close it off, let me just say thank you so much, Angelica, for being a part of this first. What is this? Like a podcast?
Yeah.
I guess this will be a podcast.
Oh, wow.
We'll see.
Thank you.
But thank you, Angelica, and thank you all listeners. This was Yushi and Angelica from Happy Science New York. We're looking forward to see you again in our next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.